All right. So today we'll start with the fourth chapter in this section of physics called as heat and thermodynamics. The chapter we'll be starting today is called as heat transfer. All right. So let me just label that heat transfer. Okay. Another interesting and I would say fairly simple chapter. The portion I'll get to it in a bit. The overall idea of this chapter is that there are three forms of heat transfer. उसमें one is conduction, one is okay last class एक मिनट there was a homework in the previous class, is it? अच्छा 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 So okay, ठीक है. कोई बोले टू होमवर्क, एक ही होमवर्क क्वेश्चन है ना, एक ही था. Find the fractional change in the length of a rod given given alpha is CT, given T initial, T final. Okay, very nice. So what do you observe? Like, Abhiko, this is again, you have to learn how to apply calculus in any concept. So if you think about the form, you think about what I've taught you. I've taught you delta L. Very nice. Sanika, most probably that's right. Yes, we'll discuss HCV in the next class. I'm giving you more time to solve it. HCV will be discussed on Thursday. All right. So in this question, so just to go over the formula once, we know that delta L, okay, delta L change in length is L initial alpha delta T. Now, when you see this formula, you realize that this formula treats alpha as a constant. And this formula naturally is treating alpha as a constant. It's normally a number that you multiply with the other terms in this equation. But in our question, alpha is equal to CT. So how do we tackle this problem? Alpha is not a constant in our question. Alpha is a variable. It's going to vary with temperature. As temperature changes, alpha is going to change. So yes, the idea is integration. What we'll actually do is we will take such a small temperature interval. All right, so you're going to take such a small temperature interval so that, yes, for those just coming in, I'm discussing the homework question I had given in the last class where alpha is equal to CT and we wanted to find change in length. All right. So the idea is since alpha is changing with temperature, you cannot use this formula. So, but you can say what you can do is take such a small temperature interval, keep T hardly changes. Like last time, today is not doubt discussion. Today we are going to start heat transfer. ये homework question का solution बता के we'll start heat transfer. ठीक है? Coming back to this, take a very small temperature interval. Let's say the temperature interval is from T to T plus dt. Okay? Now the idea behind such a small temperature interval is कि इस interval के दौरान temperature does not change much, and because temperature does not change much, alpha does not change much, and because alpha does not change much, we can use this equation in that small temperature interval. Okay, this is going to be the fundamental idea behind integration in any chapter. You will have an equation you know, but those equations that you know will involve constants. And in some question, what they'll do is they'll make that term no longer a constant. They'll make that term a function of some other term. So then what do? Then you're going to take a very small interval where that term appears to be a constant. Like over here in our small temperature interval, alpha is now more or less a constant. So in this small interval, alpha is approximately a constant because temperature does not change too much in this tiny interval. Okay, that's the idea. Now we'll of course apply our integration. So what we can now do is for this small interval, we can say कि whatever small change in length is there, that small change in length is going to be initial length times, okay, yeah, small extension in length. We are not in fact going to integrate dl with respect to length. Our small extension, okay, there is going to be a small extension. So the small extension is going to be L initial times alpha के जगह क्या आ जाएगा CT and delta T के जगह आ जाएगा DT. That's it. Okay, alpha की जगह CT and delta T के जगह DT. Okay, and our length is not changing by a large amount, so you can more or less length को variable जैसा मत ले लो, है ना? It's not a large change. It's not a large change. So just let length be whatever the initial value is. Okay, C is a random constant given in the question. Now, this is small extension where d delta L, where d delta L is the extension in the interval T to T plus dt. तो उस टेम्परेचर चेंज के दौरान इतना सा एक्सटेंशन आ रहा है. सो देन ओवरऑल टेम्परेचर चेंज टी इनिशियल से टी फाइनल जाते वक्त उस टेम्परेचर चेंज में इफ यू वांट टोटल एक्सटेंशन इन द रॉड व्हाट विल यू डू? नाउ यू विल add all these small d delta L's. So for T initial to T final, if you want total extension, then you get the total extension by adding all these individual extensions. And how do you add all individual extensions? How do you add infinitesimally small quantities? You do that by using definite integration. Definite integration is that mathematical tool which enables us to add infinitesimally small quantities. That's the idea. Okay? And this idea can be extended to any concept in physics as such. तो यहाँ पे d delta L substitute कर लेते हैं. क्या है d delta L? LICT dt. LICT dt. Okay? If anyone's wondering why I'm not integrating L, L is a constant. L is hardly changing. Okay? Nobody is saying कि length is increasing by a very large amount. All practical purposes, changes in length will be negligible unless specifically बोल रहे कि double हो रहा है, triple हो रहा है. तब तक you can take L more or less to be a constant. तो LICT dt इसको integrate कर लो T initial से T final. ठीक है? So that comes out to be LICT final square by 2 minus T initial square by 2. Okay? So this is what you get as increment in length. Okay. Yeah. I hope that's what you guys got. I think one of your answers shows कि you probably integrated L, which is also not wrong. Yeah, I think you DL के नीचे तुमने L लेके integrate किया. See, that's also not wrong. But then in the end, like you will use the condition that change in length is small. So mathematically, that answer becomes equal to this. If you know your limits, wait till you learn limits. Mathematically, that answer will be the same as this when alpha is small. Typically, alpha is going to be small. ऐसे सारे क्वेश्चन में लेंथ को इंटीग्रेट मत कर लो अनलेस वो सच में बोल रहा है कि लेंथ सिग्निफिकेंटली चेंज हो रहा है. ओके let me know if you're done copying. ये पेज this is the idea behind integration. This was the homework, last homework from the previous class. Okay, cool. चलो फिर आज no, so we are starting something new now. ठीक है? We're going to start with the next section of physics called as heat transfer. Just to give you some idea about this section. All right, so this section will go over the 3 modes of heat transfer. Okay, so I'm going to write all that shortly, but just to give you an overview. Okay, just to give you a quick overview, I'll erase all of this. There are 3 modes which you may have heard. One of them is conduction, one of them is convection. The third one is radiation. I'll just briefly describe them as well. Okay? But इसमें भी क्या है? Conduction, convection, radiation. You're supposed to know the names. In convection, you're going to have no formula because trust me, convection is not simple. Okay? So your JE has no formula for convection. It's not gone into the depth of convection. It's only going to go into some depth for conduction and radiation. Convection का बस definition and 2 type के convection होता है, उसका बस theoretical knowledge is expected for your JEE level. ठीक है? बाकी in depth convection is something you will do in your 2nd year, 3rd year of engineering. Alright, so that's good for us. जो messy, difficult वाला part है, उसका बस थोड़ा सा theory है और कुछ नहीं. As for conduction, conduction you will find. Unfortunately, you guys have, I think, not started current electricity yet. You know, this would have been so nice. It would have been nice to do this after current electricity because you're going to find that heat conduction is almost the same as electricity or current conduction. So the way heat flows via conduction is almost the same as the way current flows. And therefore, whatever you're in fact going to do a lot of mastery when it comes to solving circuits. Current electricity is a much bigger chapter, far more important. You'll solve a lot of circuit diagrams. You'll be very well versed with that. And in fact, if you know that well, you know conduction. Current देखेंगे किसके track में आएगा, I don't know yet. But either way, if you know current electricity, you're going to know conduction. Okay? So because the core formula for conduction is going to be the same as Ohm's law. You're going to see a lot of similarity. So in that sense, conduction आसानी से हो जाएगा. Okay? And radiation. Okay? So somebody is saying कैसे? So the way heat is transferred in this conduction, the same way you're going to have current flowing, or the same way you're going to have electrons being transferred in the current electricity chapter. You'll see when we get to conduction, there'll be a lot of similarity. As for radiation, the first thing we'll actually start with is radiation. Radiation is also going to be very simple. You're going to have a bunch of formulas, a bunch of ideas. There'll be a lot of terms in this that you need to remember. Lot of technical terms in this that you'll need to remember, but fundamentally at the end when you have to solve sums, there are a bunch of simple formulas and that makes radiation as well really easy. You know, it's those who find radiation tough are those who have not bothered to study even a little bit. Those who study a little bit, understand what the formulas mean, they can literally solve any question from radiation or conduction. Conduction भी तुम्हें काफी अंत में काफी easy लगेगा in comparison to whatever you may do in current electricity. Okay? So with that, let's get down to studying this. No, the radiation is not something we'll be doing in as radioactivity. Modern physics में radioactivity है, वो अलग चीज है. And this is radiation. Okay, this is thermal radiation. Thermal radiation, just to give you a brief idea of it, even before we get into it, all objects, by virtue of possessing some temperature, all objects radiate heat. All objects radiate heat. Okay? All objects radiate heat because of the temperature they possess, and this thermal radiation does not need a medium to travel, because this thermal radiation travels in the form of light, travels in the form of electromagnetic waves. So basically we are all emitting light. We are all luminous bodies in that sense, but not all of that light is visible light. Only after a certain high temperature does it become visible. Otherwise, we are all emitting light in the infrared region. We're all emitting light in the infrared region. But something which is a lot hotter, like like a heated metal, starts to glow red. So it starts to emit red light, and so on. Yeah, that's also something we'll look into this, study in this chapter. Okay. All right. So let's get down to this modes of heat transfer. Okay. So maybe I'll do a little bit of typing. So there are 3 modes of heat transfer. Let's understand them. Okay. There are 3 modes of heat transfer. The first one is conduction. Okay. First one is conduction. So let's see how conduction is defined. So when heat is transferred from one point to another, when heat is transferred from one point to, my goodness, another, without the actual motion of the particles, without the actual motion of the particles, of the medium. Okay, that's it. So when heat is transferred from one point to another without the actual motion of the particles of the medium, the process is called as conduction. The process is called as conduction. Okay. Okay. So, I'll just clarify. So, this एक बार ये भी बोल देता हूँ. This is found in solids, takes place in solids, liquids and gases. Takes place in solids, right? Solids, liquids and gases. Okay. So one of you is saying, does this transfer take place within a particle? No, it's not within a particle. Okay. The transfer takes place. देखो क्या होता है actually? It takes place from one point of a body to another point of a body, but it takes place without the particle moving. So for example, Somebody saying scale placed over a burning candle. Yeah, fair enough. So if a scale is placed over a burning candle, तो मान लो ये स्केल का पोर्शन का टेम्परेचर काफी हाई हो गया, वो स्केल का पोर्शन का टेम्परेचर काफी लो हो गया. तो हाई टेम्परेचर के कारण क्या हो जाएगा? दिस गाय is going to oscillate to and fro with, they'll vibrate. So all solid atoms, they'll vibrate. Higher temperature means greater vibrational kinetic energy. ठीक है? So they have solid में ऐसा fix नहीं रहता atom. ठीक है? Fix नहीं रहता है. It will move to and fro about its mean position. It will vibrate, and that's how it has kinetic energy. However, we know in a solid it cannot go and wander and come back. Yeah, there's a lattice. There's it in a sense has to be more or less at a fixed place, but above that fixed place it can oscillate to and fro. So yeah, so what is happening at the molecular level is this guy, as it oscillates, this guy is going to collide with the neighboring atom. So ये जब collide होगा, so through that collision, it's going to pass on energy to this guy. Through that collision, it's going to pass on energy to that guy. Okay? And yes, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfectly elastic. Also, once you study electrostatics, you realize it need not be matter upon matter colliding. It's electron clouds repelling electron clouds. So like the way, in fact, let's not get too much into that, but just in a way it undergoes collision. Okay? So the energy, the kinetic energy from the left guy is transferred to the right guy. अब left guy का, this kind of collision क्या होता है actually? इनके electron clouds के बीच में electrostatic repulsion हो रहा है. तो उस repulsion के कारण ये बंदा slow down हो रहा है, ये बंदा speed up हो रहा है. ठीक है? And in that sense, दूर से देखोगे तो एक collision जैसा दिखेगा. And in that sense, इस बंदे का kinetic energy बढ़ गया, इसका कम हो गया. But then somebody is maintaining this temperature, है ना? Somebody is keeping the candle over here. So that candle is continuing to give heat to this guy. So as the candle continues to give heat to this guy, iska kinetic energy again increases. Again, this guy collides with this guy, further increasing iska kinetic energy. Now you can imagine how the process continues. इस atom का kinetic energy बढ़ गया, तो बगल वाले atom का kinetic energy बढ़ाएगा. फिर उसका बढ़ गया तो वो बगल वाले का बढ़ाएगा. तो ऐसा collision के through they will keep passing on kinetic energy down the chain, and that's how your heat will in a way get transferred from the higher temperature body to the lower temperature body. With time, what you're going to see, you're going to see ये end का temperature, ये end का kinetic energy बढ़ते जाएगा, and subsequently इसका temperature भी बढ़ते जाएगा, and in a way finally you will expect, once heat flow stops, you normally expect them all to be at the same temperature. So that's kind of the idea. This is what happens in conduction. Okay? I'm of course going to erase this diagram. तो हम और detail में conduction के वक्त और detail में इसको समझ लेंगे. But this is the idea. So you can imagine conduction is like, maybe I'll give that illustration in the end once I mention all the terms. Okay? All right. So I'll erase this diagram. That diagram is just for you guys to, in a way, understand what is happening. In conduction, be very clear, the particle need not move, in fact, does not move from its original place. It just oscillates to and fro, and it collides with the neighboring atom and transfers energy to the neighboring atom. That is what happens in conduction. Okay, that's what happens in conduction. All right, the next one we are going to see is convection. All right, so what is convection then? Let's try that again. Convection. So convection is when heat is transferred from one point to another. Same thing. When heat is transferred from one point to another ठीक है, one point to the other with the actual movement, with the actual movement of the molecule of the particles, with the actual movement of the particles of the medium. Okay? Then the heat process is called as conduction, called as convection. So then the process is called as convection. So can you take a guess in which states of matter can this process take place? Based on the definition that you're reading, किस states of matter में can it take place? Very nice. Some are saying liquids and gas, some are saying only gas. I wonder what wrong did liquids do. Of course, liquids and gas, दोनों में it can take place, except in solids. It takes place in liquids and gases. ठीक है, प्लाज्मा वगैरह में ज्यादा जाएंगे नहीं. ठीक है, simple J level 3 states of matter for us: solids, liquids, gases. उनमें से solid में नहीं होगा. क्यों solid में नहीं होगा? Because in your solid the particle cannot really leave its initial position and move somewhere else and come back. Okay? So it cannot leave its initial position and move somewhere else and come back. That's why solids में नहीं होगा. नहीं तो liquids and gases में बिल्कुल हो सकता है. Okay? Liquids and gases में of course ये process से हो सकता है. So liquids and gases में heat can be transferred via conduction as well as via convection. क्या होता है actually liquid में? We'll actually talk about convection in a bit, but just to give, I'll give an illustration. Conduction is like, imagine this is a restaurant and imagine this is your table. Okay? And this is the counter where food is being prepared. Okay? So imagine food needs to go from the table to your, from the counter to your table. Okay? But conduction will be like a process where all the waiters are standing, are making a chain. They're forming a chain as they stand, and conduction will be like passing the parcel. So they pass one dish. This guy takes the dish, passes to the second guy. Second guy takes the dish, passes to the third guy, and the third guy places on the table. So that is that passing the parcel is the scene of conduction from one to another. Yes. And convection में क्या होगा? Convection में your scene will be like this कि in convection this guy is going to take the plate and he's going to physically move over here and deposit the plate here. Understood? Maybe at the same time there's another guy who goes, picks the dessert, and then again physically goes and drops the dessert over there. So that is convection, where particles of the medium directly go from the hot place to the cold place. वो हो गया convection. Whereas conduction is like passing the parcel. Energy is just passed to the neighboring molecules. No one moves from their position in conduction. In convection, the particles physically go to that place, deposit heat, come back. Physically go to that place, deposit heat, come back. Okay? That is convection. Understood? Okay. I'll just repeat this. Okay. All right. वापस समझा देता हूँ. Solids. What I was saying is, convection is where the particle. See, I'm just saying this is a counter where food is there. This is your table where food needs to reach. So convection is like the scene when waiters pick up food from the table and they pick up food from the table, physically go to that. So you pick up food from the counter, physically go to the table and drop food, come back, take more food, drop food, come back. So convection में the person transferring food or the particle transferring kinetic energy or heat is physically moving from the high temperature point to the low temperature point. That is convection. ये सिर्फ gases and liquids में हो सकता है, solids में हो नहीं सकता है, because solids में molecules cannot leave their lattice point and just wander here and there. Liquids and gases में they have the freedom to do that. Okay. Yes, excellent, excellent, Prithvi, excellent. Conduction कैसा होगा? Conduction will be when people stand one after the other and they just transfer plates, like you're passing the parcel. In that manner, they transfer plates from one to another. No one is physically losing their place. They're where they are. They're just transferring heat or energy from one side to the immediate next molecule, and that molecule further transfers it, and that's how conduction takes place. Conduction can take place in solids as well as liquids and gases. Don't think कि liquids and gases में सिर्फ convection होता है. Liquids and gases में you have a mixture of convection and conduction going on. Convection हम बात करेंगे क्यों होता है ना? Somebody said boiling water. Boiling water, that's an example of convection, of course. But साथ साथ conduction भी होता है. Your molecule, liquid molecule, is going to collide with someone of lower energy. That guy is going to pick it up. He is going to collide with someone else. That guy is going to pick it up. Yeah. So just imagine liquids as a medium where you can do both. And that said, one of you answered, what would radiation look like? So even before I define radiation, can somebody answer what would radiation look like in this kind of illustration that we are giving? Conduction is passing the parcel. Convection is waiters moving to and fro. Very nice. Excellent. So nahi, spontaneous nahi, there is still transfer, but yeah, radiation will be like the guy at the counter, like in those sushi restaurants or something, he's directly throwing the plate to the table. So in radiation, there is no waiter. Like in radiation, there is no matter needed to transfer energy. Light radiation takes place through electromagnetic waves. Light is basically traveling from the source to another point. And light does not need a medium to travel. It can travel even in vacuum. So यहाँ पे वैसे ही हो रहा है. This portion of heat transfer, this process will be like somebody just directly throwing food to the table. No intermediary, no waiter needed, directly throwing food to the table. Okay? Radiation is the process by which the sun heats up the earth and all the other planets. There's no vacuum between, as such. I mean, there's vacuum between the sun and the earth. But heat from the sun fortunately manages to reach the earth via the process of radiation. All right, so let me define that. One of you are saying that convection is some part by part process of conduction or thing vice versa. No, just understand they are completely different. They are two different processes. Convection में particle physically जाता है hot से cold. And conduction में particle physically जा नहीं रहा है hot से cold. वो यहाँ से heat लेके अपने next neighbor को दे रहा है. So via a chain reaction, heat reaches from the hot end to the cold end. Okay? एक मिनट इसका एक बार definition लिख लेता हूँ, then you can just ask it out. So radiation के लिए लिख रहा हूँ, when heat is transferred, when heat is transferred from one point to the other via an electromagnetic wave. Okay, via an electromagnetic wave. Okay, that's a fancy word for light. Light is an electromagnetic wave. So via an electromagnetic wave, without needing an intervening medium, without needing an intervening medium, without needing anyone in the middle to transfer it. Okay? That process is called as radiation. So when heat is transferred from one point to another via an electromagnetic wave without needing an intervening medium, then the process is called as radiation. Okay? Very distinct, very different processes. And the process is called as radiation. Okay? These are just the definitions. We are of course going to look at this in more depth. So radiation actually can in fact just take place in any medium, because actually it's independent of the medium. So it takes place in solids, liquids, gases, and vacuum as well. Okay? किसी के भी through this radiation can go. एक मिनट, this unmuting this guy. हाँ, आयुष बोल.
Sir, but light as a form of it's basically an electromagnetic wave, and waves require a medium for their propagation. So, how are we saying that radiation is independent of
No,
any
not all
medium?
waves. Not all waves. That's precisely what you learn. Not all waves require a medium for their propagation. ठीक है, there are two types of waves. एक होता है मैकेनिकल वेव जिसमें पार्टिकल का मूवमेंट के कारण वेव प्रोपगेट होता है. ठीक है, so
Okay, sir.
that requires medium for propagation. Light does not.
So, in general, electromagnetic radiation doesn't require any medium.
Electromagnetic radiation does not require a medium for propagation because it has nothing to do with the particles of the medium.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
It involves oscillating electric and magnetic fields. वो बाद में तुम देखोगे कि one creates the other and they continue propagating. And one of you saying, does radiation lose energy to the medium through which it passes? Absolutely. Yeah, radiation as I mean, that's an example of that is as how the atmosphere gets heated up. You know, when sun is transferring, sending out heat, sending out radiations, our atmosphere is picking up some of those radiations. So the atmosphere is getting heated up. Okay? So definitely the medium through which this propagates, that can also absorb some of the radiation. Yeah, some of the UV radiations are absorbed by the ozone layer and all that. Okay? The medium can absorb some of these radiations. Okay? All right. So that was just a brief definition. We are of course going to look at them in more detail. Let me know if you're done with this page. If anyone wants me to wait, say wait. We are going to start with convection because उसमें कुछ है नहीं convection में. जेई के पर्सपेक्टिव से सिर्फ theoretical idea चाहिए convection का. Okay? So let's just break down convection. You'll get to see examples also as to why convection takes place. One of you saying, can light energy from radiation be converted into heat energy? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, thermal radiation and light, they are one and the same. It's just thermal radiation, light are one and the same. It's just that we don't perceive maybe light around us as a form of energy because maybe the light we are around is of very low intensity in that sense. But क्या होता है, लाइट जब लाइट ट्रांसफर होता है तो लाइट के फोटॉन्स में एनर्जी होगा. सो व्हेनेवर योर लाइट फॉल्स ऑन एनी सरफेस, कहाँ जा रहा है फोटॉन का एनर्जी? कहाँ जाएगा? ऑब्वियसली वो फोटॉन का एनर्जी जो भी मॉलिक्यूल पे लाइट गिर रहा है उस मॉलिक्यूल का काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ाने में जाएगा। तो वही हो गया, मॉलिक्यूल का काइनेटिक एनर्जी बढ़ा दिया मतलब टेम्परेचर उस लोकेलिटी में थोड़ा बढ़ाया। So that's how light is in a way transferring heat, supplying heat to that substance. Okay. All right. All right, so convection. So we have two types of convection. Let's start with, sorry, let me first mention forced convection. Okay, there are two types of convection. The first one is forced convection. Forced convection. One type is forced convection, the other type is natural convection. Forced convection and natural convection. तो देखो forced convection में क्या होता है? When convection takes place, so when convection takes crashes, when convection takes place due to an external agent. So when convection takes place due to an external agent like a pump or a fan, okay, like a pump or a fan, causing the particles of the medium to move, then the process is called as forced convection. So very simple idea, you know, like we mentioned, okay, simple idea like we mentioned ki, in convection you basically have particles moving from the hot end to the cold end. All right, so when you have particles moving, what is making the particles move? So sometimes it's possible that there is a fan which makes the particles of a gas move from the hot end to the cold end. Okay? So like for instance, in instance like maybe in any machinery, maybe even in your laptop, like even in your computers, you may have some parts which get heated up. Okay? Now you want that heat to basically move away. So as this particle gets heated up, as this portion of your, let's say, laptop or your computer gets heated up, the air around the region also gets heated up. All right. Now, in supplying energy to this air, you know, the only way this guy can cool is if it supplies energy to the surrounding air. But kya hota hai? If that air gets heated up and stays where it is, then the possibility of this guy supplying energy to that air decreases, because सामने वाला air का भी temperature अब काफी high हो गया. So then what do fans manage to do? Fans manage to move this air away from that point. Okay? So typically the fan will try to throw that kind of air out, but as it basically moves this air away, what's going to happen is this particular substance which is hot can now, अब normal air है उसके सामने, so it can now exchange heat to that normal air. As that normal air gets heated up, यहाँ का fan वापस उसको दूर भेजेगा. So in this process, heat is being transferred from this guy to wherever these air molecules are going. In that sense, it's in a way being thrown out of the laptop. So heat is in a way being transferred out of the laptop through the process of forced convection. Why do we say it's forced? Because that movement of molecules is not happening by any natural process. It's happening because of a fan, which is making them move. It's happening because of a fan, which is making them move. Okay. कोई बोल रहा है movements of, can movements of electrons due to potential difference, can that also be considered as convection if electrons are transferring heat? If electrons transfer heat, you can consider them as, you can consider it that way. But in general, electrons cannot transfer that much heat because सोचो ना कितना ही मास होता है इलेक्ट्रॉन का, कितना नेग्लिजिबल उसका काइनेटिक एनर्जी होगा, है ना? तो इलेक्ट्रॉन as such cannot be a very good carrier of heat because its mass is negligible compared to a molecule. Its mass is negligible compared to a molecule. So कितना काइनेटिक एनर्जी लेगा, कितना काइनेटिक एनर्जी इलेक्ट्रॉन कैरी कर सकता है, और वो जब मॉलिक्यूल को देगा तो है ना, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट क्वाइट negligible the amount of kinetic energy an electron can carry. Just showing the photoelectrons. We can also see if anyone is transferring heat from one place to another via a process where the molecules move, that process will be called as convection. Okay? There are some more traditional examples of convection, but any other weird example where someone does manage to move from one place to another, that can also be considered as convection if it's actually transferring heat. Causing the, what does the statement mean? Causing the particles of the medium to move. So the statement means ये convection, जैसे convection में हमें पता है कि particle move करता है, but क्यों करता है, किसके कारण move कर रहा है? तो एक external agent के कारण, अगर एक pump, a pump is normally used to transfer fluid from one place to another. So if a pump or a fan is used, which makes the particles of the medium to move from the hotter place to the colder place, then the process is called as forced convection. So let me list some examples. एक तो fan का effect हो गया, but then you also have cooling pipes. You know, a lot of machinery typically is maintained at a stable temperature by using water. So water in a pipe, if let's say this portion of a machinery is hot, what they normally do is, because the water has very high specific capacity, you know, so just some amount of water passing near this machine can absorb a lot of heat from that machine, right? And we have seen that water in general has very high specific heat capacity, so it can really take up a lot of heat. Little water can take up a lot of heat. So water is going to take up this heat, and then you don't want the heated water to stay there. And if the heated water stays there, it's not going to be able to take more heat. So what happens? The pump makes this water move ahead, and then it brings cooler water in. And as the cooler water comes in, again that takes some more heat, and again the pump moves it ahead. Again more water comes, again it takes more heat. So cooling pipes, some are saying it's used in nuclear reactors. It's used in a lot of things. Is used in a lot of things, used in automobiles, any engine as well. This is not how an engine works. This is just how that engine or any machinery is cooled. It's cooled using cooling pipes. Okay? So water is constantly circulated. Okay? Water is constantly circulated, and water in a way keeps regulating the temperature of any object that's getting heated up. So these are all examples of forced convection. क्यों? वो heated water अपने आप move नहीं कर रहा है machine से. There's a pump which is making that water move. So therefore, this is forced convection. With that, I can even maybe say blood circulation. blood circulation also is an example of forced convection. Our human body temperatures maintain at a particular value because you have one fluid running throughout the body, and in that sense it maintains the temperature. Immediately when somebody dies, all of a sudden they become cold. As long as you're alive, your temperature is going to be that specific value, whatever, 37 degrees Celsius, because your blood is flowing throughout your body. What is making your blood really flow? It's your heart which is pumping it. It's being forced to flow. It's not just flowing naturally. It's being forced to flow. So these are examples of forced convection. Any sort of water cooling in a computer or in any other kind of machinery, that's all going to be forced convection. Let me explain what natural convection looks like. How does this take place without any machinery, without anyone forcing particles to move? How does this take place? So natural convection is when convection takes place due to gravity and or density differences in a medium. It is called natural convection. Okay, so when convection takes place due to gravity and or density differences in a medium, it is called natural convection. When convection takes place due to gravity and or density differences, it's called as natural convection. Right, so just to give an example of this, natural convection by example, we can say like heating. I would even say or diffusion. You release some hot gas from some point, that gas is going to want to spread out. That gas is going to want to spread out. So as it spreads out, it's going to, of course, heat up the surrounding region. So convection, let me explain एक बार what really happens. So for instance, एक बार समझा देता हूँ, ठीक है? Little bit more detailed, just saying it's because of natural reasons. Consider the example where we heat our hands over a flame. Heating our hands over a flame. Consider that example. In fact, there's land and sea breeze as well. So maybe I'll explain both these examples. There you go. See, what's going to happen is, if you heat your hands over a flame, okay, so for instance, let's say your flame over here, the tip of the flame is at some high temperature. Okay? एक मिनट guys, एक बार ये पूरा example सुन लो. Flame over here is at some high temperature. Now what really happens is when you place your hand over it, okay, how does your hand get heated up? How does heat flow from your from the flame to your hand? So it flows via the process of convection. Of course, there can be some conduction also going on, but predominantly it flows through the process of convection. Now think about this. What makes hot air, what makes this hot air go up? some of you are saying air, but what is really making this air move in this pattern? Very nice. So there's a density difference. All right. So of course they have different temperatures. They have different temperatures. But just because यहाँ पे temperature ज़्यादा है तो hot air necessarily ऊपर नहीं जाएगा. ठीक है? What is really happening is your cold air is typically is going to be more dense. ठीक है? Cold air is going to be more dense at lower temperatures. Gas tends to occupy lesser volume. Yes, cold air is more dense. Hot air is less dense. And because, yes, some of this you have learned in school as well. Okay? So because your hot air is less dense, क्या हो जाएगा? Your hot air is going to want to go up. So your hot air goes up and your cold air comes down. So यहाँ पे this is how your a kind of cycle is set up. Hot air is going up, transferring heat to your hand, becoming cold in the process as it gives out its energy to your hand. Then when it becomes cold, it's going to come back down. See? It's going to come back down. It's going to displace the new hot air which is heated by the flame. And as it displaces the new hot air which is heated by the flame, that guy again goes up, releases heat to the hand, becomes cold, again comes back down. So this is kind of a juggling type of process, a cyclic process that is set up. Okay? Why is this taking place? This is of course taking place because of density difference. So the main idea behind this is due to density difference. And of course, because of gravity. You know, the whole notion of heavier things should come down, lighter things should go up is there because of gravity. The whole notion of heavier things should come down, lighter things should go up is because of gravity. So there's a density difference, and there is also gravity which is playing a role in bringing what is hotter, bringing what is colder down, bringing what is heavier down and taking what is lighter up. That's gravity which is doing that. Heavier चीज को नीचे खींच रहा है, that's because of gravity. Understood? So this process is called as natural convection. All right. Isn't the flame? So flame is just a flame is. So one of you saying, sir, isn't the flame an agent? Flame, to be honest, is flame causing mechanical movement? Nahi na. Flame is not applying any kind of force. It's not causing mechanical movement to make the hot air go up. Unlike the case of a fan. Fan mein or pump ke case mein, they were forcing the particles to move by applying a force. Is the flame even applying a force? No. It's just a source of heat. It's just a source of heat. Why is the hot air going up? The hot air is going up because cold air is displacing it. Cold air is heavy and is due to gravity that the heavier objects come down, the lighter objects go up. This potential energy decreases in this process. Understood? So the driving factor, the reason for this kind of process is gravity and a difference in densities. Understood? One of you is asking me why I've written and or. So and to यहाँ पे and का example ये हो गया. It takes place due to gravity and density difference. Sometimes this transfer can take place only due to density difference. Jैसे an example of that is land breeze and sea breeze. To just keep it very simple, ज़्यादा complicate. Sir, wait. ये लिख लो. Why is hot air less dense? एक तो ideal gas का होता है, PV is nRT. The greater temperature means for the same pressure it would tend to occupy more volume. More volume would imply lesser pressure. ठीक है. Hot air, hotter air has greater kinetic energy. Yeah, so imagine in a train, if somebody is somebody standing still, everyone will stand close to each other. But if people are dancing and behaving like madmen in the train, you'll keep a distance, right? So that's the kind of the idea. यहाँ पे molecules are vibrating vigorously. Other molecules will keep a little bit of distance from that molecule due to electrostatic repulsions. The hotter air mein molecules vibrate more vigorously, so molecules are more spread out. Being more spread out, you would expect to see lesser density for hotter air. Land and sea breeze के case में, what is the idea? You've learned कि during the day, maybe थोड़ा भूल गया, during the day, who gets heated up? I think land gets heated up faster. Because land, water basically has very high specific heat capacity that takes time to get heated up. So because land gets heated up faster, the land is hot and your water is cold. And because of that, रात को उल्टा होता है. Now because of that, यहाँ पे higher temperature है और यहाँ पे lower temperature है. And as a result, there's this kind of pressure difference. So pressure difference, higher pressure किसका होगा? इस पानी का, है ना. तो पानी का प्रेशर ज्यादा होता है और हॉट एयर का, लैंड के उधर प्रेशर कम होता है. So therefore during the day you have this kind of sea breeze setup. Breeze from your cold water comes towards the land during the daytime. Why is this taking place? Because of a density difference. Pressure in general goes from a higher pressure place to a lower pressure place. Okay? So can we say that one of the reasons that cold air is more dense is due to the presence of small amount of water droplets? Maybe water droplets can of course add to that effect. Okay? Water droplets can add to that effect, but notwithstanding, see if you will say the same thing over here. Are you saying water droplets because that is over water? Because यहाँ पे फिर reverse फंडा होगा. During the night, what's going to happen? एक मिनट, इसके बाद previous page दिखा देता हूँ. So during the night, now the entire day water has been heated up. ठीक है? Now night has come, the sand quickly loses heat because sand has low specific heat capacity. So sand becomes cold during the night. The sand becomes cold and is the water which stays hot at night. And because water stays hot at night, now you're going to have higher temperature over here, lower temperature over land. Therefore, higher pressure over land, lower pressure over water. Okay? So higher pressure, lower pressure just has to typically do with the temperature. Lower temperature would imply higher pressure for the simple reason I said molecules are not vibrating that vigorously, so they can stand closer to each other. यहाँ पे molecules vibrate too vigorously, so they are spread out. They keep a distance from each other. इस case में your breeze is going to flow from land to the sea. Therefore, this is called as land breeze. So this is, if you can understand, this is a process of convection. Why? Something which is cold is trying to cool something which is hot. Something which is cold is trying to cool something which is hot. All right. So this is convection. This is heat in a way being transferred. Okay. So in fact, the cooler things are going to come and they're going to take out the kinetic energy of the hotter air, and in that way, it's going to bring the cooling effect with it. So this is convection. Is this being forced by some kind of fan or anything, or is this happening naturally because of a density difference? It's happening naturally because of a density difference. So this is how you can have just by density difference post convection taking place. volume occupied by water is a lot greater than sand. Okay, fine, but what are you trying to say by that? The density difference के कारण हो रहा है. Your gravity is not involved. है ना? Imagine there are a bunch of people. अब COVID का time है. यहाँ पे high population accumulated है. Yeah, people don't like being next to each other. Just like that, molecules don't like being next to each other. They have those repulsive electrostatic forces. So if given a chance to go to a less density region, they'll move towards a less density region. That's what you typically end up seeing. Volume inversely, but I'm still not getting. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure for the gas. Okay? And यहाँ पे pressure, once you're in the air, I don't see इसमें volume का factor कैसा आ रहा है. But what we are trying to say is, take any standard 1 liter of air over there, 1 liter of air over here, you'd find कि यहाँ पे higher pressure होगा because of a lower temperature. So per unit volume here, you're going to find more molecules, greater density, because by the way, I'm sorry, I actually एक minute. I actually wanted to say density. Pressure का बात नहीं करना था. I'm so sorry. Density का बात करना था. My bad. Which is more or less the same idea. Let's just go with density. More or less the same idea. Any doubt in this? Yes, please note this. मैम ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं convection में तो. You never know क्या पूछ सकते हैं. What they could kind of ask. If at all they ask anything on convection, it's going to be some sort of theoretical question. Just be familiar with a few examples of convection. So if convection is taking place due to density differences, due to gravity, then you would call that natural convection. If it's taking place due to what do you say? Due to a fan, a pump, it's forced convection. And sometimes diffusion can also play a role. Like even if gravity is not favoring it, and even if a density difference doesn't necessarily favor it, and diffusion is a simple idea that a concentration of molecules over here will eventually want to spread out and occupy the entire volume. So if you release hot air from here, it will want to occupy the entire region. So through diffusion as well, you can have some sort of heat transfer taking place. Okay. So now normally in real life, it's always a mixture of these effects. All right. So that actually wraps up convection. With that, we can look at radiation. Anyone still copying any of these pages? Sorted. Okay. चलो फिर second page देख लो. Let me know when you're done. Lecture will be till almost 8:35, 40-ish. 8:40 तक रख लेते हैं. देखो radiation में in the start we just have a bunch of terms, bunch of definitions. Okay, so let's say that well, let's just have a look at those terms. So we're going to start by saying कि let's say Q amount of radiation it's a Q joules of radiation falls on an object okay. So Q is the amount of energy, okay, or the amount of radiation that's falling on an object, amount of energy falling on the object via radiation. So when Q amount of, this sounds funny, we'll of course do conduction in detail. So radiation and conduction are two things which we are going to do in detail. We're going to start with radiation, okay, and then we'll move to conduction. So when Q amount of radiation falls on an object, then, and let's say ki in that process QA amount is absorbed. Okay, let's say QA amount be absorbed by the object. Let's say what are three things that can happen? The object can absorb heat, the object can reflect that heat or that radiation, or it can simply transmit that radiation. So these are three possibilities. So QA is the amount absorbed, QR is the amount reflected, and QT is the amount transmitted. Okay. Then first of all, you have keep the total energy falling will have to lie under one of these three categories. So the total energy falling has to either be absorbed or reflected or transmitted. Okay? And if I divide both sides by the total energy falling, if I divide both sides by Q, then we are going to get key 1 is equal to QA by Q. This is the fraction absorbed, plus QR by Q, which is the fraction reflected, and QT by Q, which is the fraction transmitted. Okay, now the fraction absorbed, the fraction reflected, and the fraction transmitted all have special names, which I'm going to go over in the next slide. So you can meanwhile copy this. Okay, in fact, QA by Q, the fraction absorbed is going to be represented by the symbol A. The fraction reflected is going to be represented by the symbol R. The fraction transmitted is going to be represented by the symbol T. I'm not cancelling Q over here. है ना, Q नहीं काट रहे, वो नहीं हो रहा है. यहाँ पे A subscript है. QA is a symbol, Q is a symbol, and A is going to be a symbol representing this fraction. ठीक है, Q नहीं काट रहे हैं. Please don't get confused. So I'll define A in the next page. A is fraction absorbed. R is fraction reflected. T is fraction transmitted. तीनों का sum is naturally 1. Any doubt on this page? Copy कर लो. I'll give you the names for A, R, and T. There are a bunch of names. If somebody is still writing, say wait. Otherwise, I'll go to the next page. I'm waiting. So waiting. एक लास्ट टाइम बता रहा हूँ, A is not, this is not Q into A. A is a subscript of Q. ठीक है, so QA was just heat absorbed, QR was heat reflected, QT was heat transmitted. यहाँ पे QA by Q को define किया है as a term represented by the symbol A. ठीक है, it's called as absorptivity. I'll define that on the next page. But this fraction, heat absorbed upon heat incident, is called as absorptivity. ठीक है, यहाँ पे Q cancel नहीं किया, it's not multiplication or division or anything. All right. What is radiation here? What are you referring to? One? No, that's one. I have divided both sides by Q. So naturally, when I divide the left hand side by Q, I'm going to get 1. Okay. It's 1. This is total rate. This is total incoming radiation. एक बार वापस. This is total incoming radiation. ठीक है. अब कोई पूछ रहा है what if Q is 0? If Q is 0, nobody is going to sit and talk about A, R, and T. ठीक है. But as such, A, R, and T, they depend on the material and they are in a way defined when some energy is falling. So because they depend on the object. So how do you measure the A, R, and T for an object? You will typically send some amount of energy. You will see how much energy is absorbed, how much is reflected, how much is transmitted. बहुत simple सा idea है. अगर 10 जूल इनकमिंग था, ठीक है, 10 जूल अंदर आया और ये 2 जूल अब्सॉर्ब हुआ, so we'll say A is 2/10. ये 3 जूल अब्सॉर्ब हुआ, we'll say R is 3/10. This automatically will have to be the remaining 5 joules has to be transmitted, so this will be 5/10. And you can check that A, R, and T will obviously add to 1. They'll obviously be less than equal to 1. Goes without saying. QA is only energy absorbed, and this is total energy incoming. Okay? Yeah, यहाँ से यहाँ both sides are divided by Q. Yes. And one of you saying कि 2 निकाल के तीसरा मिलेगा. Absolutely. 2 से automatically तीसरा आ जाएगा. यहाँ 3 ही possibility है to the incoming energies, either absorbed, reflected, or transmitted. Okay. All right. Now, इनके नाम क्या है? तो A, whatever represented by A, that has a bunch of names. You never know which one they'll use, but they all sound similar. So you need not worry too much. So it's either called as, I'll have to check the spelling, absorptance. It all plays on the same word, absorptance. Then there's absorptivity. Absorptivity, absorptance, that's quite popular. Absorbing power, ये भी use करते हैं. And absorptive power. Absorptance, absorptivity, absorbing power, and absorptive power. Okay, the B's and P's are all correct. These are all multiple names for A. These are all multiple names for A. Okay, these are ways to refer to heat absorbed upon heat incident. 10 जूल आया, सिर्फ 2 जूल absorb हुआ. So 2/10 is either absorptance or absorptivity or one of the following. Okay? So of course, I mean, it'll have the word absorb in it. You cannot go too wrong with it. Okay? These are all multiple names referring to the same thing. These are all multiple names referring to the same thing. The idea is it will have the word absorbing in it. Similarly, for this, you can also have the same sort of name. So I'm just writing the common ones now. This is reflectance. Okay, absorptance की तरह reflectance या reflecting power. You get the idea. Yeah, reflectivity, etc. लिख लेता हूँ. You get the idea. Yeah. Etc. Yeah, that's the idea. So R is QR by Q. The fraction reflected is called as reflectivity or reflectance or reflecting power. Similarly, the fraction transmitted is called as transmittance or transmittivity, yeah, transmitting power. Okay, one of you is asking a nice doubt. One of you is saying कि sir, but power तो ऐसा dimensionless नहीं हो सकता है. So please understand, although the name has the word power in it, this is not fundamentally power. This is just a fraction. This is the term. I'm just going to write etc. I mean, you get the idea. Okay, so anything with transmittance, transmitting power, transmittivity, names start sounding weirder and weirder. Okay, but if you see anything named in this manner, they're of course referring to these terms. There's no confusion over here. You can't miss it. The idea is, so ye likh lo. The idea is कि if at this stage you can see that if somebody is observing the power of a lens be power nahi tha. Fair enough. Huh? Power of a lens also was not power. So this is not the physics word power. This is the English word power, which represents strength. इस पे absorb करने का कितना शक्ति है, reflect करने का कितना शक्ति है. So in that sense, they're using the word power. Okay, not strictly the English word power. Okay, we'll of course, guys, not, I won't stretch. I'll maybe let you go at 8:40. Just 10 more minutes. R is equal to 1. Okay, so if R is equal to 1, then you would call such a material a perfect reflector. Why? Because it's reflecting all of the heat falling on it. This is a perfect reflector. Perfect reflector. And the same goes for the rest. For instance, if absorptivity is 1, if absorptance is 1, you will say it's a perfect absorber. है ना, एक 1 है तो बाकी 0 होता है, एक 1 है तो बाकी 0 होता है. ठीक है. Yeah, this word is transmittance. Absorptance, reflectance, transmittance. Yeah, absorbing power, absorptive power, reflecting power, transmitting power. They all sound very similar. And if any one of them is 1, the other two are naturally 0. So if R is 1, that perfect reflector neither absorbs heat nor does it transmit heat. It just reflects all of the heat or reflects all of the light. So, yeah, so you would expect like a mirror to be a good reflector in that sense. Something like a mirror, something shiny. Absorber, if A is 1, it's a perfect absorber. Yeah, it absorbs all the heat falling on it it does not reflect any heat, and it's opaque, it does not transmit any kind of heat or light energy. And if T is 1, yeah, then it's a perfect transmitter. These are all ideal terms. Okay, nothing is going to be absolutely perfect, of course. These are all ideal terms. That's the idea. Perfect transmitter. Just perfectly transmits heat. Oh, one of you is asking, what's the difference between transmitting and reflecting? Okay, sorry. So I didn't maybe mention that. Should I go to the first page itself? So transmitting and reflecting का बस समझा देता हूँ. Basically, if you have an object, if this object allows heat to pass, that is called as transmitted. If it reflects heat, that's called as reflected heat. And if in a way it absorbs heat, then that's called as the absorbed heat. The transmittance means transmitting means allowing it to pass, like a transparent material does. Reflecting means sending it back, which is what shiny objects do, mirrors do, polished surfaces do. And absorbing has something to do with something that's black. So something that's nicely a black something which is black is perfectly absorbing. Because if you remember, we said blue color blue dikhta hai because that blue object is absorbing most of the frequencies and reflecting reflecting blue frequencies. But when something is black, it's nicely just absorbing everything. Black is the absence of light in that sense. So when an object is black, it's more or less absorbing most of the frequencies. Nothing is perfectly black. Okay? वो भी थोड़ा shade of light reflect करेगा ही, but it's still absorbing a lot. So black, something which is black has a tendency to have higher absorptance. Okay? और कोई बोल रहा है something which is white. White मतलब white का absorptance zero नहीं है, पूरा zero नहीं है. और but yeah, you'd expect a white body to be reflecting a lot of colors, so it still would have high reflectance. Opaque bodies would definitely have low transmittance. An opaque body would have low transmittance. Okay. Okay, so in fact, if you talk about opaque bodies, I just want you to observe if T is 0, then of course the body is opaque. Then you get to see key A is 1 minus R. So if A is 1 minus R, that means amongst opaque bodies, good absorbers are bad reflectors and vice versa. So amongst opaque bodies, good absorbers are white, good absorbers are bad reflectors. A ज़्यादा है तो R कम है. A ज़्यादा है तो R कम है. Amongst opaque bodies, good absorbers are bad reflectors. Yes, Gaurav. Maybe we can more or less stop with this idea. The next idea is going to be on a slightly different concept. I don't know enough about dark matter to comment about it, but yeah, I can say the objects which are color wise dark, as somebody else is asking. Okay? So objects which are color wise dark are technically good. Good absorbers का ही word मैंने miss किया. I'll fix that. Don't worry. So objects which are otherwise dark are technically absorbing most of the incoming colors. Okay, so then absorbing a lot of incoming light. That's why a black body is a better absorber than a white body. It absorbs most of the radiations coming on it. That's why it appears black. Whereas a white body reflects a lot of the colors falling on it, and the mixture of all those colors appears white. So white body is definitely a better reflector than a black object. A white object is a better reflector than a black object. Okay. Simple idea. Will of course get into more interesting stuff later. Next class we'll see what emissive. In fact, if you're done with this page, I'll just write the definition of emissive power. Okay. Are you done with this page? बस एक definition दे देता हूँ, and we'll continue on that from the next class. So just to tell you, emissive power, this is why the names are a little important. If you don't pay attention to the names, you will get confused. Now, emissive power sounds similar to the names we just saw. Yeah, in the previous thing, we saw reflective power, transmittive power, absorptive power. ऐसा लगेगा कि emissive power sounds very similar, but if you see the definition, it's going to be completely different. So, emissive power, this is defined as the energy the energy radiated per unit area is defined as the energy radiated per unit time per unit area is defined as the emissive power of a substance. All right. So mind the symbol. This is capital E. All right. You're going to see a little later. There's another term called as emissivity, which is small e. So these names matter. In the previous page, power, witty, सब एक ही चीज था. But यहाँ पे for emission, you have different terms. Okay? I'm not the one who has come up with these names, but sorry, the spelling गड़बड़ हो गया. I'm not the ones who's come up with these names, but unfortunately the names are what it is. Emissive power, capital E, stands for something. A little later we will see emissivity, small e, stands for something else. So pay attention to the names, pay attention to the symbol. What is emissive power? That is, by the definition, energy radiated per unit area per unit time. So it's Q by AT. Again, it's not fundamentally power. Power would have just been Q by T. This is power by area, what we typically call as intensity. Okay? Yes, it's actually intensity in that sense. Okay? But naam hai uska emissive power. So I'm ending with this. This is just to tell you names matter. Okay? Don't ignore this. you're not going to use every specific thing in a question, but these names matter and make a lot of difference. Okay. All right. Any doubt? Those who want to leave can leave. I'm done. How can we be sure that a black body? Okay. How can we be sure that a black body is not reflecting more radiation? So we cannot be sure कि it does not. हाँ वही black body का भी ना. We are just commenting on. See, in fact, I'm not going to use the word black body. Black body is a very specific term. जो आगे देखेंगे. I'll just talk about an object which appears black and an object which appears white. We are saying कि white objects reflect more than black objects only on the basis of what is happening in the visible spectrum, and definitely in the invisible side of the spectrum, which is in fact a lot larger than the visible side. The invisible side of the spectrum, who knows, black may be reflecting more as well. So when we comment that black reflects more, it's just on the basis of the visible spectrum. It's a matter of probability कि जो visible region में ही सब absorb कर रहा है, most likely that has something in its composition कि वो बाकी frequencies भी absorb करे. और जो visible region में सब कुछ reflect कर रहा है, it's highly probable कि वो बाकी invisible region में भी ज़्यादा reflect करे. It's just safer to say कि white objects reflect more than black objects. Yes, guys, you can leave. आयुष तू जो बोल रहा है वो सही है. That's for emissivity, which is technically not something I've taught yet. Yes, those who want to leave can leave. तू जो बोल रहा है वो emissivity का है, वो एक अलग चीज है. हाँ, उसका definition पर थोड़ी देर बाद समझेंगे. All right, that's it for now. This Thursday we'll be discussing our homework from thermal expansion, and then we'll of course continue if there's time. Just those 20 sums. Bye. Good night. Bye. Bye.